Hello and welcome back. As of this recording, I have successfully beaten BDSP, meaning all that's left to do is put it all together in these last 3 episodes and then upload it. Yeah, just like that. We're a week away from Legends Arceus. So other than that, I'll be doing an individual review as well as a group review with Darren and Jaquan. I did have a lot of fun playing this game. This was the first time that I've ever attempted something like this, and of course the first time that I've actually tried and just play through an entire Pokemon game with the idea that I'll go back, recording the footage, editing it later. It was really hard to do after a while because I'm currently using Wondershare Filmora. It's not the best editing software. It can do a lot, but that compared with my lack of experience, really, I don't like how limited it's been. I've been using this for almost a full year. My subscription's almost up, and I really feel like I've only learned very small things. There's not a lot of complicated things that I can do with it, and some of the more complicated stuff that I did, like there was a Absol video where at some point the gradient of the video just sort of changed to black and white. I forgot how to do that after doing that, and recently I actually wanted to try something like that. But all in all, I consider this a success for me because I'm not the kind of person that usually finishes projects. I've been a novice writer for about three or so years now, and I'm still trying to keep up with that and be persistent about it. Not that editing and writing are equivalent. Some people work on projects and they put on all this effort, and it takes them months to do it, but with a novel, it's the kind of thing that can take years easily. Some people their entire lives. Now, back to sort of what's going on here. The reason why I decided to talk was because there's just so much going on at this part. Obviously, we're going more into the story side of BDSP, but I'll try and find an opportunity here to just skip around. One thing that I really did like about this part of the game is that traveling up to Snowpoint was a lot easier. Getting to and from places with fly was nice because I didn't have to constantly keep a flying type Pokemon around. I do remember there were times where I would throw like a Starly or something on my team, teach it fly, throw it back into PC, etc, etc. HMs being revised in this game definitely fixed a lot of the issues with keeping it smooth, especially because this is one of the games with the most HMs. You'll see that later when you won't see it while I'm in like the route to the Elite Four, but I probably will mention it again. As for this video, a lot of the lake stuff I'm gonna skip over as well, and we're just gonna go right back into the captures. Okay, so like I said before, it's really difficult because this is a section of the game where you do a bunch of traveling, but I was doing some capturing and evolving. The Finneon Smurf that we caught before also evolved, similar to how I caught the Tentacool, and it evolved at the beginning here. Everything that I throw in is sort of sequential, so it's all just in order. So then I fight one of the commanders. This is not Saturn, right? Saturn? Pretty sure it's Saturn. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to show the whole fight, obviously, because that's a waste of time. But I do like sort of how he looks visually in this game. His animations are nice. He looks kind of gaudy almost. It's cool. No evolutions here. So we go ahead and leave. And then we go ahead and grab a little ride on a wild Staraptor. Again, really helpful getting place to place here, because I don't have a flying type that I use. I don't need to really evolve a Pokemon that flies right now anyways. We end back up at Twinleaf Town, go over to the lake. This should be Lake Verity, not Valor. And then here's where Rowan asks you to help Dawn because he doesn't do anything because he's an old man. We go ahead and help Dawn, and once that's done, Sasori evolves into a Drapion. And that's not all, because we have a double evolution. Something that I always thought was really cool growing up, because you're used to your Pokemon sort of not being on the same level, but especially because of how much like the EXP system has progressed in Pokemon, it's a lot more common, it's a lot more cool to, you know, just have a bunch of Pokemon in your party, training them all up, and seeing them all evolve around the same time. So here we also have the Gabite from the Gibble I caught before. Then we go into Mount Coronet, because here's where we need to catch a good bulk of Pokemon. It's important here to have the HM for defog, and unlike in the original game, like I was saying before, it's really nice not having to rely on HMs and Pokemon that can learn HMs to get through the game. You can just sort of use your little, what was it, Pokach, yes, Gen 4, in order to open up all the areas that you need, because you've gotten all of the badges. You know, right now we're only about 2 away from completing, so we have access to a lot of HMs. Regardless, here's our Cleffa. I have 2 really cute nicknames based on the characters from Gravity Falls, because I always thought that Clefairy and its little foof reminded me of Gideon from Gravity Falls, and so obviously it's easy to just swap over to Mabel, one of the main characters. I don't even know if I spelled her name right. I didn't bother to check either, but later we need to catch Clefairy, because otherwise I'd have to waste time evolving it. Before that, this is also the area in Diamond and Pearl where you get access to Feebas, and there's a very cool tool, thank God for the internet, that allows you to enter your data, and it'll tell you where those Feebas tiles are. Because if you're not familiar, Feebas in Gen 3 and Gen 4 have a very specific mechanic tied to a little area of water, where if you go towards a specific tile, out of all like 100 plus tiles, there's going to be specific ones that will spawn the Feebas, and you also have to use a specific kind of rod. Now here I got the Magikarp, but I go ahead and run away, and I try again in a different spot, and that's where I finally got the Feebas, which you'll see here in a moment. Alright, so after Feebas, we still have to catch one more Pokemon inside of the cave. That Pokemon is Clefairy. Now, Clefairy does evolve from Cleffa. However, the main issue with that is the fact that I would have to go through another Pokemon, yet again, that evolves with Happiness or some other random mechanic. Since Clefairy do naturally spawn in the cave, obviously the easy answer is to go ahead and just throw a ball at it. Now, this one, because it is male, I end up calling Gideon. Our last 2 encounters for this episode come from the route right outside of Mount Coronet, heading to Snowpoint City itself. Now, here we have our Snoover, which will evolve, unfortunately, off screen. I don't know where I put the footage for it, but at some point it does become Obama Snow. Just gotta hear me out on it. I'll put some proof at the very end of all the different Pokemon that I caught during the journey, just in case anyone somehow comes across this channel and it's like, hey, where's the Obama Snow? I didn't see Obama Snow evolve. How can you tell me that, you've caught every single Pokemon that's available pre-game, pre-post game? I already do a playthrough. There we go. If you didn't show me Snowver evolving into Obama Snow, I know nobody's gonna come after me. It's still a very small channel, but just in case, at the very end, last episode, I'll have another go at the Pokédex. So enough filibustering. Here's our Sneasel. After that, we're free to basically go to Snowpoint, but I do believe that I finish out some more story stuff before then. So here at the Snowpoint Gym, I think is the best time to reiterate, which I think I've talked about before, how bad the gyroscopic controls really are. It's one thing, right, to remake a game and put in enough effort for it to be updated and modern, but it's another thing to include control schemes that weren't on the DS, aka the Switch's gyroscopic controls, and try and integrate it in a way that just doesn't work. Not only can you end up getting soft locked here, which should have been patched out of the game by now, but there's also a way in which you can just skip ahead and go to Candace. I didn't do that because I thought there was no point to doing that. And another thing about that sort of soft locking moment, it's not that big a deal, mainly because you would have to either have autosave enabled or make it very obvious by saving yourself for it to soft lock you. So that aside, we finally make it to Candace, the 7th of 8 gym leaders. She's actually one of my more favorite in the region because she's one of those characters that sort of takes the element that she's supposed to represent and flips it on its head. She's more like a Flannery despite being an ice type gym leader. I don't really want to talk about the gym battle itself. I don't think the gym battle itself was all that interesting this time around. Candace does have strategy, just like the other gym leaders, but this time around I'll just sort of put a timestamp here. You can just skip to the outro, or you can just watch the fight, just to watch it. Alright, so the next part will detail everything that goes on to Sunny Shore, including the Sunny Shore Gym, and the end of the Team Galactic arc will all be summed up there. Thank you so much if you've made it this far into the video. I don't know exactly what my plans for Legend Arceus are. They're going to be a bit more relaxed than they are here, simply because it's a brand new game, brand new format, and I have no familiarity with it. It's also supposed to be a super long game, because it's going to be fueled by quests rather than your good old-fashioned linear gym battle stuff. There's probably some stuff like that. But until next time, I hope you take care.